lies and deceit. If not for the coming of IPOB, of Radio Biafra, all of you would have lived and died in the ignorance that Ojukwu caused a war. That's what they were writing. Britain helped them to write it. Ojukwu was a rebel, a secessionist, because we had no media. That is why they're paying Facebook billions upon billions of US dollars to stop this truth from coming out. Did Ojukwu cause any war? Gowon is alive, go and ask him. Did Ojukwu cause any war? Ojukwu went and negotiated restructuring with you in Aburi. You came back, Britain told you not to agree because Britain realized that all the component units of Britain knows that if you go back to regionalism, you will have economic growth. The country will do very well. But Britain doesn't want it. That was why they even instigated the Nzogwu coup, so-called Nzogwu coup, saying they will bring Awolowo to become the head of state. They knew what was going to happen. They wanted to truncate the economic miracle of Dr. Michael. But what I'm telling you are fast. Go and investigate for yourself. In the East, you had the fastest growing economy in the whole world, over 40% every year. In the West, Awolowo was performing his own miracle as well. Even in the North, Ahmadu Bello and Tafawa Balewa were doing very well. You had all those massive industries in the North. You even had Alamajiris that were employed in the North, meaningfully employed, gainfully employed. They were all doing very well. Britain said, no, for us to control these people, we need to impoverish them. Let us introduce this war. There was a coup by Nzogwu. And after that, there was the massacre of, as usual, massacre of our people in the North. Ojukwu said, I have to secure my land and my people. They said, no, let's go to Aburi to discuss it. Ojukwu went to Aburi and agreed, restructuring. That's something now you're asking for. To tell you how foolish Nigerians are. They're very foolish. That same nonsense you're asking for now was discussed many years ago. Ojukwu sat down in Aburi with Gowon and decided that regionalism was the best way forward, restructuring, going back to who you were, 1963 Constitution, 1960-1963 Constitution. Be on your own and pay tax to the central government, as they have in America, as they have even in Britain. Britain, you have Scotland that is almost independent, Wales, the same thing, everybody is free, but Britain doesn't want the same thing they're enjoying to happen in Nigeria. Why? Ask yourself that question. Anybody telling you about one Nigeria is your enemy, I'll prove it to you now. Ojukwu negotiated devolution, regionalism. The North will be on their own, the West on their own, even Midwest on their own, and then the East on their own. It's the same one Nigeria. On their way to the airport, before they boarded the aircraft, a call came from Lagos, from the British High Commissioner in Lagos, to Gowon, telling Gowon not to agree, after having signed the agreement. That same Gowon you're looking at today, God kept me alive so that he can witness the destruction he will bring upon that very zoo called Nigeria. Gowon said no. Do you know all the journalists in Nigeria, none of them have ever gone to Gowon to ask him, why did he say no to Aburi? Aburi was restructuring. None of those agitating for restructuring right now has ever gone to Gowon or gone to Nigeria to say, but Ojukwu negotiated restructuring. What happened? They came back and they said no. Ojukwu said, okay, so you want to continue to kill my people all over the place? No. Because of that, I'll declare Biafra. Today, they have brainwashed all of you with the perverse notion and thinking that somehow Ojukwu is responsible for causing a war, when opposite is the case. If not now, that after many years of hammering on this very topic, it has now sunk into the skull of the people that Gowon was the aggressor, not Ojukwu. That's how Nigeria is, always blaming the victim. And we lost over 5 million people during that very genocidal war. They killed over 5 million Biafrans. They wanted to wipe us away from the face of this very earth. But we survived it, and we are here today. Those they gave birth to, they have come. And this time with a wrath that you cannot even begin to imagine. And Biafra must come. It must come.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world. I greet you according to your time zone. You are welcome to this program. While you are joining us, share the video, invite others to join wherever you are watching from. Are you watching on YouTube at Judge Money Blog Africa? Share the video, invite others to join. Are you watching on Facebook, Judge Money Blogs, and other Facebook platforms? Share the video. Are you on Twitter? Don't forget, or is it Twitter or is it called the X? Let's find out if we are live on the X. Yes, we are live on the X. Re-X the video. If you are on the X, re-X the video or retweet the video and then invite others to join. We are back again to continue where we have stopped. You know, of course, we are aware that the enemy is doing everything to make sure that they divert our attention for us to not to do what we do best. But resilience, our resilience is exactly what is driving what we're doing. Because the gospel must be preached. What we are doing is something that is the most important part of freedom fighting. That is the reason why I laugh when I see somebody who will tell you, no, the time of broadcast is over. That is the reason why I laugh when I see this, this Eperima telling you it is no longer time for broadcast. It is no longer time to preach the gospel. It is no longer time to teach people what they need to know and the things that made them to lose their freedom from the beginning. But you are not preparing you are not preparing the ground. You have never taken over the ground, but you are fighting to get a mat to sleep on the ground. Before anybody will go to sport, before a football players will go into the pitch for competition, they will have like 4 to 5 days preparation. And this preparation is going back to the soccer field. And they will prepare. How do they prepare? By practicing this, the football, going to the gym, making sure they stay fit. So our practices and our gym is what we are doing here in the media space. And that is the only thing that will help the minds of our people which are enslaved to emancipate. There is no other way we can do it except through this way. So anybody who is coming to tell you, no, it is no longer time for, broadcast, you should know that they have never had anything to offer to this struggle, but they have come to steal and collect what you have in the name that they are shouting, we are going to do this, we are going to do that. Ever since Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was taken, ask yourself, what have you learned from Ekperima? What have you, Ekperima, offered any one of you? Some of you will say that Ekperima, because without Ekperima, you will not be hearing Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. These are the people who don't listen to Radio Biafra. These are the people who don't come online, but they will tell you, no, without Ekperima, you will not be hearing Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. That the DOS have forgotten Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. You will ask these people, how so? Now, how do we communicate our matters to the world? We know that we've been tweeting, we've been retweeting, but there is a place where our tweet, need to go. There is a place where our voice need to reach. There is something that is unsaid yet that need to be said, in order for that, for somebody to grab it and make use of it. That is the reason why this is our first war that we have engaged on. That is the reason why so many Biafra media are called media warriors. Because we are at war. When Ojukwu declared Biafra in 1967, what actually crippled us is because we didn't have a media. We do not have a medium where we will educate our people and prepare them for, to get ready for what is to come. And that is exactly the reason why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu introduced the media space and make sure that he preached the gospel in the media space. Prepare our minds for what is to come. And that's exactly the same thing we are doing, preparing your mind, because our mind is already prepared. But we cannot do it alone. We can only be successful if your mind is prepared. Now, if anybody who will come and tell you no, it is no longer the time to do broadcast, it means they do not know the value of the broadcast that we do, the value of the work we do online. And secondly, it means that they have nothing to offer. When a person comes out to broadcast, let me tell you, exposition is different from educating our people for the mind emancipation. Exposition is quite different. There is something that, there is the difference between exposition, exposing the atrocities of somebody, analyzing the news, analyzing the, intelligent report. Those are quite different. There is most important factor that we do in the media. That is setting up our people's mind to actually be exposed and advance, to know how to react to every given situation. And the emergence of a Berima and the Autopilot helped us to realize that we still have a long way to go in this media teaching, in this media awareness campaign, in this mind emancipation gospel that we are preaching. So it is very, very necessary that we continue. Do not relent. Eberima does not have it. He does not know what it is to teach people something like geopolitics. It is very, very important that our people understand what geopolitics is all about. It is very important for our people to understand how we react to geopolitical quagmire. Just like what we are here to do, it is to educate, especially Asari Dokubo. While we are educating him, our people will also be learning and understanding how geopolitical quagmire is handled and how you actually make use of your foreign policy in geopolitical quagmire. Because this is exactly what these people does not know about. The video of Asari Dokubo that we are going to use to do this broadcast, you are going to hear how he is criticizing Mugabe of Zimbabwe, how he is criticizing Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso, I believe I'm correct, how he is criticizing all these activists, all these great men that started this, quest for self-determination, that we have continued from their legacy. We have learned that we need to preach and get our people ready for these things that we are working towards to achieve, which is the total emancipation and total liberation of Biafra's, land and Africa in extension. Now, it is very, very necessary that we find out from these people who are telling you that it is no longer time for broadcast. It is time for action. So if it is time for action, is it only this Eberima in Finland and these few people that he is having in the media space and some criminals on the ground that is going to actually bring the action? Because the reason why I am saying this, I have been hearing him talking about self-referendum. When I hear that, I remember, geopolitical location that is called South in Nigeria. I remember the tautology of geopolitical location called South in Nigeria. And then, you will understand that, you will understand vividly that this guy called Simon is indeed a moron. he is indeed a moron. I want all of you today that is under the influence of my voice, wherever you are watching from, be it Twitter or X or Facebook or YouTube. I want you to get to your Google, because when we talk about self-referendum, it is an English language that's supposed to have its meaning from dictionary. It's supposed to have its meaning from the English dictionary. So if this English language does not have its meaning, or does not have any meaning from an English dictionary, now you need to ask this guy to explain to you what exactly is self-referendum. Now, the same way, the reason why I actually bring it to the South, in the so-called South in Nigeria, it is because if you look at a geographical map, you see east, west, north, and south, and you see southeast, then you see northwest, you see southwest, you will see I believe it's finished. Then somebody came to tell you there is a place called South. So it had no meaning, and our people bought it, and they digested it. They are actually, we actually got used to it. And many people who are actually using that slogan of South, it does not mean they didn't go to school. Until Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's emergence, we were using it freely and behaving as if it makes sense. Because it didn't make sense. Only when our mind was drawn, or our attention was drawn to it, that we recognized that now this thing doesn't make sense. In a geographical map, it does not exist. So why are we making this mistake? Then we began to unlearn. And it takes education. It takes broadcast of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. It takes, the work we are doing right now for us to learn such. That is the reason why I have come this evening, this morning, this afternoon, depending on where you are watching from. If you are in Biafra land, it is 9:37. It is 9:37 in Biafra land. The time stands, 23 minutes before the top of the hour. 23 minutes before the top of the hour. We are live and direct. Today is Friday, 18th of August, 2023. We are live and we are bringing you this direct from Judge Money media pages. So, as we are saying this, that today we are going to let's actually reflect or look into what we have here. Before we go to this, my preamble, if you look at the picture in front of you, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is the number one. And the reason why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu appears there, and Malami appears there, and Asari Dokubo appeared there, now is for you to understand exactly. There is a new allegation that I learned today against Malami, the former Attorney General of Federation. And this new allegation, I heard it now from Asari Dokubo. I am hearing it for the first time now from Asari Dokubo. I knew he was calling him out, but I did not hear exactly what he was calling him out. The specific event which Asari Dokubo is calling this guy out to go and pay back the money. I didn't know that, but I decided now to listen to this video, and I saw exactly what Asari Dokubo. It is quite different from what I was saying previously. And I was thinking it is only that corruption that, was found on this Malami. But I did not know that there is a lot of them. So we are going to actually now be talking about that corruption, talking about educating Asari Dokubo how to handle a geopolitical politics and its quagmire. And we are also going to now ask Nigeria, because I want you to pay attention. Okay, let me address this thing, then I will remove it. Other one is that the ECOWAS region, these are ECOWAS region leaders. I know that there is somebody, some of them are leaders emeritus, and there is a coup junta. We are going to touch on the ECOWAS meetings in Ghana. Like I told you yesterday and day before yesterday, that a meeting has been going on in Ghana with regards to how they will deal with this issue of geopolitical quagmire. Now we are going to touch on all of these things, but for now, the first thing first, we are going to actually bring your mind to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, because it is very, very important that whoever that comes to listen to this video, they will hear about issue of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, because that is the primary thing that we are at right now, because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is going to court in less than, okay, in a month's time. In a month's time, he's going to court. So that is the reason why we are going to be asking Nigeria, number one. Tinubu was holding Mazen Nnamdi Kanu in a solitary confinement. Buhari was holding Mazen Nnamdi Kanu in a solitary confinement arbitrarily. It just means that it is born of a personal vendetta they have against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. That was the reason why Buhari, imposter in Asari, was holding Mazen Nnamdi Kanu in a solitary confinement with Attorney General of Federation Abubakar Malami, who made every plans and every move to bring Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Now, who is making plan for Attorney General to answer for his crime? Who is making plan? Who is putting, effort for Attorney General to come and answer for his crime? The looting, offshores, looting and embezzlement. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was, was actually caged by Buhari, body double. And it is arbitrarily. And now the court of a competent jurisdiction set him free and took a position that no court has right to try him. Because anybody who is renditioned or who is brought back illegally without any extradition paper or extradition document signed by both countries, it is illegal. And the number one reason why it is illegal, it is because the man is not declared a fugitive. The man was not declared a fugitive. That is the reason why it is illegal. Number two, there is no establishment to say that this guy is a fugitive and the Kenya government need to do their own investigation, which is their due diligence. And while doing their due diligence, they will establish a court proceeding, a court hearing, in order to see if this man really committed any crime that will warrant him to go back to Nigeria. What if his life is going to be in danger in Nigeria? These are the things that you must consider before any extradition take place. Number two, we consider, do Nigeria have extradition treaty with Kenya? Does Nigeria have extradition treaty with Kenya? Nigeria does not have any extradition treaty with Kenya. Nigeria does not have any extradition treaty or bilateral treaty with Kenya. Have you now seen the reason why we call it a learned court and a court of a competent jurisdiction? And if you do not have a extradition treaty with a nation, you have no right to go and before you will bring back a person who is seen to be a fugitive, before you will actually go and ask for them to extradite him, you must first of all go into bilateral treaty with that host nation. If you cannot go into bilateral treaty with that nation, if you do not have a bilateral treaty with that nation, which can even take 3 months, 6 months for these treaties to actually be gazetted, and then a court case will be actually established requesting extradition of this individual, and the court will now investigate. Does this individual commit this crime that will warrant us to get involved, or that will warrant us to extradite him? Then the court will decide if this man is supposed to be extradited or he is supposed to be protected. That is human right. That is human right. Now, Kenya government did not do such. Something that British ran away from doing in Britain. They pass it on to the Kenya government because Africa is a land of crime. A land where crime is perpetrated without without actually bearing any consequences. That is the reason why Boris Johnson made sure it did not happen in Britain. He lured it to Kenya, and it took place in Kenya. Kenya, the land of corruption, which is Africa. That is the reason why each and every time I speak, I say that Africa will always allow their fingerprint to be found in the scene of the crime of the Europeans. That is the reason why I always make this statement. Because they know they cannot carry it out in Britain. They decided to bring it out to the land of Homo erectus. In the land of Homo erectus, where crime is prevalent. So they decided to law it to Kenya, and they used Kenya government under the leadership of Uhuru Kenyatta to carry out these atrocities of the book. And they watched it. They allowed Nigeria to get into the country, while the Kenyan officials, or not even officials, we don't even know whom they were. They captured Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, put him in a building that is not a police station or any military facility. They tortured him. They tortured him for 8 days without food and water. They handcuffed him like a common criminal, and they actually covered his face. The latest news we heard from Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was that it was CIA private jet that transported them back to Nigeria. For you to see, when we say that this issue started in Britain, but Britain knows that they cannot violate their law. Britain knows that there are watchdogs, opposition parties, that will use that opportunity to criticize and call for action against the sitting government. That is the reason why they did not allow that to happen in Britain. Because it is no longer the era where you will just kill people. Because if you kill people, we will know. The killing of Thomas Sankara, the killing of Marcus Garvey, the killing of Bob Marley, we know. It is no longer that era you easily kill. So they decided to sell his security details to Nigeria in Kenya. And they actually called through to Kenya to tell them to apprehend Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And the man was apprehended, tortured, and I believe he was apprehended by non-state actors. Because if he was a state actor, they would place him in a state facility. What we heard, he was placed in a place where there is no state facility. And from there, they renditioned him to Nigeria. Now, what am I trying to say? The Court of Appeal, the Court of the First Instance, Nigeria labeled 15 count charges against him. They started from 7. From 7, 8. Every court, they will actually add more charges. Each and every time a court proceeding is coming, they add more charges. For you to understand that the charges they were adding, there was no case against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu pre the kidnap in Kenya. There was no case. So that there can never be anything establishment of a court sitting in Kenya that warrant the extradition or that will lead to extradition rather, because number 2, there is no bilateral treaty that Nigeria have with Kenya. So have you now seen the irony of, the incident? It is corruption. Everything they did against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was done off the book. And that is the reason why the court that understand the human rights and international, treaty discharged and acquitted all this frivolous crime. The Court of the First Instance, which is the High Court in Abuja, that was actually, controlled by Binta Nyako, struck out the charges and left with, I think, 7. Left with 7, struck out 8, and left with 7 count charges, which the learned legal team now took the case to the higher court, which is the Court of Appeal. The learned judge in the Court of Appeal, 3-man panel or 3-man judge, they decided to come up with a befitting judgment which nullify any case against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, quashed all of them. And they quashed it because everything done against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu within the ambit of the law is against the right of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And it was seen as an act of terrorism committed against him. So the frivolous charges that was raised against him by Nigeria was struck out. All of them, with actually a stay, with an order to say, with a proclamation to say, no court in Nigeria will entertain this matter. No court in Nigeria has jurisdiction to entertain this matter, because they asked the Nigeria prosecutor, where is the extradition evidence or the extradition documents, or how did Mazen Nnamdi Kanu got into Nigeria? The man Atageli won. He could not answer because he does not know. He doesn't have any answer to it. Then the court decided to strike out all these charges within the ambit of the law. They did not do it on their own, self-gain. They did it within the ambit of the law, which says that Nigeria judiciary has no jurisdiction to try the case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Number 1 reason is that if you look at Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's passport, he was not stamped out. There was no stamp to show that extradition took place, because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is still technically in Kenya. It is a simple grammar that is very, very easy to understand. He is technically in Kenya. It is like now, if you travel from a country where you are, when you are going out from the host nation, a stamp will be placed on your passport that you have traveled. If you are leaving the country, you will, when you are returning or when you are leaving the country, there will be a stamp out. Yes, a stamp out from the port of entry to show that you were in this country and now you departed in so date. That stamp is an evidence of your departure in your traveling document. If that stamp is not found on your traveling document, that means you have not left the country, or somebody stole your passport and took it out of the country, because there is a stamp in, but there is no stamp out. So that means you are, first of all, if you are missing, the first place they are going to be looking for you is inside Kenya, because there was no stamp found in your passport, in your traveling document, that was actually recovered outside Kenya. That means Kenya government and its authority need to give account of you, because you are still there. So that is now going to nullify any case that is being tried against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, because whom they are trying technically is a ghost. They are trying somebody who is not presently in the court. They are trying somebody who is actually in Kenya, technically. So the court decided to struck out those leftover count charges and say, no court will try him because we have no jurisdiction over the matter and over the handling of this case. Rather, Nigeria government should actually compensate Mazen Nnamdi Kanu for the violation of his right and the violation or terrorist act being meted upon him. But Nigeria DSS and Nigeria government flouted this order. They flouted it. And the Attorney General, who is now seen answering many charges of corruption, and this same Attorney General answering many counts of corruption started from 2015 to be corrupt. Then 2021, he decided to make sure that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, who exposes every evil activities that they are planning on the common people, everything that they are doing against these indigenous people, he exposed them. Everything he said has come to pass. Is not enough for the world to see that this man is innocent. He says the fact. Now the same Attorney General decided to say no, he cannot be released. Rather, he ordered for stay of execution. And this stay of execution, do you know what is going on? To my greatest surprise. And in the stay of execution, they actually got rid of those 3-man judges that actually passed the judgment. They got rid of them. They ostracized them. Now they brought their own judges in the same court. I want you to see the irony of all this, this conundrum. I want you to understand the irony. They removed the judge who judged the case, those 3 judges who judged the case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu in the same appeal court, not a higher court. In the same appeal court, they replaced them with their own judge. And they actually forced for stay of execution. That stay of execution they forced for which warranted them to keep Mazen Nnamdi Kanu still in a solitary confinement instead of obeying the court verdict because of the power of Attorney General. Of course, Attorney General has right to actually interfere. But the impostor in Asorok used him to interfere because he's Attorney General of Federation. So he can come in. He was used at that point in time, not knowing that he's a big criminal, charged with so many corruption. Then he actually ordered for stay of execution in the same court. Now Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has been staying execution since 2022, October 13th, 2022. Next 2 months, it becomes 1 year where Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was set free, was discharged and acquitted, and they place him still in the solitary confinement in the name of their bogus stay of execution. Because I want you all learned African people watching me, all learned people from Europe, people from North America, to actually tell me, when a court said that no court has right to try this case because it has no jurisdiction, do you think that the same court that gave the verdict, they did not go to another court, the same court that gave the verdict, they applied the stay of execution. And that same court is now going to continuously trying the case again. The same court that gave a verdict, not higher court, the same court. In the places where there is high court, there is appeal court, there is Supreme Court, there is there are places where there are even constitutional court, which is the apex court of the land, the highest court of the land. So in this regard, Nigeria has appeal court. Nigeria has court of appeal, Supreme Court of Appeal, which I believe is the highest court of the land in Nigeria. And the appeal court is the one handling the case that they have handled and gave a verdict. Appeal court handling the same case they have handled and gave a verdict. Because Nigeria controls the judiciary. Nigeria is the complainant. Nigeria is the judiciary. And Nigeria is the executive against one man. That's why they were able to maneuver many things. And those things that they have maneuvered, some of them, they did it off the book. Just like the bringing back of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was done off the book. So are you now beginning to understand, my learned, friends, that Nigeria does not practice what they preach? Nigeria does not understand the meaning of the three arms of government under democratic dispensation. They use the power of executive to override the court verdict. Because in the situation like Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, if Nigeria wanted to do something great, they obey the court order. Maybe they take the matter. They have to obey the verdict of appeal court. Maybe they will say that we are appealing this matter. They might take the case to Supreme Court. But not in the same court. Not in the same court where you undermine. Not in the same court where you don't like their judgment. But they decided to do it in that same court. They call it stay of execution. I don't know where one same court will try matter these two times. I have never seen in my life where same court, trying one matter twice. Trying, after verdict, they come back to the matter. I have never seen it. Now, coming to now, what is the reason why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was actually brought back from the beginning? Because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, number one, told Nigerians that the man in Aso Rock is a fraud. That the man in Aso Rock is a doppelganger. The man in Aso Rock is not Buhari because Buhari died. Out of that selfish or actually, personal vendetta against the man in Aso Rock, or the man in Aso Rock had against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And for you to understand that the allegation that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu raised against the man in Aso Rock, he called Nigerians that if this man in Aso Rock, you know how Biafra is dear to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, is the reason why he is in jail. He said to them, if the man in Aso Rock will go and carry out a DNA or come for an interview where the mother tongue of Buhari, original Buhari, will be used, and he will actually respond to it with the mother tongue, which is called Fulfede. The language of Fulatis, or Fulatas, that he will stop agitating for Biafra. Did you see that challenge? No Nigerian professor, no Nigerian media, no Nigeria intellectuals, no Nigeria writers, no Nigeria elder statesmen or Nigeria elite decided to say there is something in this thing this guy is doing. And all of them are championing one Nigeria. All this set of people that I mentioned in their category, they are all championing one Nigeria, but none of them under one Nigeria. Say, if this could stop this agitation in the southeast, why can't president come? Let's actually give him interview or conduct a DNA test with the original son of Buhari. Nobody did it. Nobody. But they say one Nigeria. And at the end of the day, for the sake of that to stop trending, that's why Nigeria paid billions to Kenya government. That is the reason why Nigeria spent billions to make sure that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was brought back home through extraordinary rendition, so that he will stop talking that thing, because maybe somebody will wake up tomorrow and say, no, let's try this thing this guy is saying. Because of that, it is not even because of Biafra agitation that they did that. Because they know that that is the biggest fraud of the century. That is the biggest fraud that Britain is involved with. That is anti-democratic. That is undemocratic. That is a treasonable, that is a treasonable crime for a president to die and somebody impersonated him for 4 years. And no Nigeria asked question, because they don't want that to trend. And while they are doing this, they make sure that in our land they will bring what is called Fulani terrorists into our land. You must have seen the video that is making round on social media, because the plan was that since there is oil in these areas, we can get Fulanis terrorists to be smuggling weapons of war, going down to that side. When Dangote truck is coming to the east, you find Fulani and their guns hiding under the truck. Going to the east, they were trooping them. They were trying to bring them in. And they are actually destroying and desecrating our land. Destroying our people's farm produce. Just like you must have seen in the social media today, where a kettles were seen inside a farm, inside a mealie farm or maize farm, mealie, and that cattle was eating up all the crops, and the people who are the headers were cutting the crops for them. When the owner of such farm comes in, they will kill him. If it is a woman, they will sexually harass the woman or molest the woman. And if it is a child, the same thing. That's how they roll. So they were doing this, and it becomes so prevalent in our land that everybody was crying. The same Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was the only man who had the willingness rather, to establish Eastern Security Network that will protect our land from the invasion of these terrorists, because they were coming out in high scale towards our land, because they know they have captured most lands in the north where they discovered resources. So they have to come and take control in the east. That is the reason why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu decided to introduce this initiative of establishing a security outfit that will safeguard our land from the terrorists that is ravaging the north, from the terrorists that is setting people to IDP camps in the north, displacing people, maiming them. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu introduced that initiative to make sure that our people are safe, because there is no government in that eastern region who has the political will to do so. Because of that, this same government they were embarrassed. How can somebody, non-state actor, introduce this initiative and it is very, very effective? There is security in our land. No, we cannot allow this to happen. They decided to go and form Ebubatolo by Dave Umahi, the governor emeritus of Ebonyi State, decided to form Ebubago to counter Eastern Security Network. Guess what? Eastern Security Network rooted Fulani out of our bushes. And that is the big, the thing that Nigeria, Buhari, the imposter in Asorok, they never wanted. Because their plan was to overwhelm our land by these terrorists. And Mazen Nnamdi Kanu did it diligently. Then the governors saw that it was effective. They decided to form private security, non-state actors, in competition with Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's initiative, because they had never done it. They don't know what to do when it comes to the security of our people. All they do is secure the bag for their own people. That's all they've been doing. So now they say, if this man could secure their land from the terrorists we are planning to use to push into this land in order to have control of it, while they are busy grappling with terrorism, we will be busy exploiting the oil in their land without them asking questions, because now they are asking too many questions. It's becoming a problem. They are becoming problematic. For you to see that terrorism in every country in Africa is man-made. Not just man-made. It was invited by leaders. Terrorism in African countries was invited by leaders. It didn't grow up from the ground. So when they saw that the formidable of that Eastern Security Network, guess what they did? They decided to stop the commander. That is part of the reason why Buhari, he could not succeed in bringing Fulani terrorists in the land. And this voice in the wilderness continuously exposing all their atrocities before it will even happen. They said, no, we cannot allow that. We are going to go out of our way to make sure we bring this guy back in order for us to punish him. They wanted to kill him. But as God may have it, they blew their cover. That was the reason why the man is still alive today. God in heaven ordained him to be alive because he has a long way to go. Now, they tried to stop him. They stopped him by kidnapping him and extraordinary renditioning him to Nigeria today. That's just like the story I told you. They placed him there. Do you know what is the funny things they did? Because they want chaos in Biafra land. At all costs, there must be a unrest. There must be a chaos. There must be banditry. There must be criminality in Biafra land. There must be insecurity in Biafra land. Immediately when they took away the commander, they brought over some of the people who knows about the formation of the Eastern Security Network. The women in America. The women who handle the finance of the Eastern Security Network. Through these women, they now introduce somebody who they are going to use to hijack the struggle. And that man is the man we've been fighting over the years. In the name of Ekperima in Finland, Ekperima really simply means a serious criminal. Now, they used him. He came in the media space. When he arrived in the media space, him and those women started saying that the DOS that have sold Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, but they have seized the money that is supposed to be actually catering for the Eastern Security Network and some of their family members. They seize it so that they will go behind the back to say that the structure, the Directorate of State, which is the structure that holds IPOB together, to go and tell the Eastern Security Network that the people who handles the affairs of this movement, they have sold out, they sold your commander. And they have refused to bring money for your own upkeep. So now, we are going to, do away with them. We have now a new plan. They bring in money they have stolen from IPOB. They use it to go to the commanders on the ground, bribe them. Some of these commanders on the ground, bribe them. And the commanders will now convince some of their men. They now join force with the enemy. And the plan was to destroy that thing which gives security in our land. And while they use Simon to be on the media space shouting, we will cut the neck of a military, we will kill every governor. While Simon is doing it, Tony Blair Institute was actually instituting our name to go into the terrorist index. For you to understand that we are not fighting against flesh and blood. We are fighting a principalities and power from the high places. They decided to place our name in the terrorist index while somebody that is not even a member of IPOB is using the name. Because everybody that uses the name of IPOB, in their mind becomes IPOB. So they decided he was using the name of IPOB, committing all the atrocities that Nigeria government assigned them to commit. They are committing it. They wanted to use this man to buy the heart of the people. Then the people will, blindly follow him. Because people want anybody who will speak things that will hurt Nigeria. Regardless of that, some of these people, they are not articulative, they are not calculative to know that this thing you are calling for to hurt Nigeria, is it really hurting Nigeria or is it hurting your own people you are trying to actually, restore freedom for their sake because of the suffering you have seen that they are suffering? They didn't ask themselves that thing because their mind is blocked. They need emancipation. And knowing that many people who were not knowing who Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is, many people who knows him but they were not listening to his preachings, they were all flooded into the media space in 2021. And immediately when they flooded into the media space, and somebody is telling them, enter, 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 took them off the place where they're supposed to know the information of Biafra. All of them followed him. He went and brainwashed them. And the format he used on them is called a pastor format. That is the reason why you saw people in the likes of Father Mbaka endorsing him. You see some pastors endorsing him because he used pastor format. Pastor format is something that does not actually cast very easily. Because when a pastor is actually, they stage you to defraud you, to deflate you, you will never see, you will never believe that they are, evil people or they are lying. They use it. That is the reason why in this struggle, the teaching that we need to be using, we continue, feeding our people. It is on that angle of, mind emancipation, religious emancipation. We need to unlearn many things that they have actually taught us or we have inculcated through our activities in the past or in the present, or how the ones we've learned from our parents. Because when we talk about colonialism, I want you to understand that colonialism did not come to us, this generation. First, colonialism was done to our ancestors. Our ancestors now did it to our parents and to the next generation, while the next generation did it to the current generation. Then they did it to us. That is how it is. So, while we are in the media space now, trying to make people to unlearn, trying to reintegrate people where freedom is, or reintegrate them to be seen as a Homo sapien, no longer Homo erectus. Somebody now used the opportunity that there was high influx of people who does not know about the struggle, but they heard that the only man who actually troubled the Nigeria, which is their boogeyman, has been taken. They don't know left from the right. They came to media space. They found somebody who is, playing, go and listen to this person. He is doing a marvelous job. That is the only thing he was playing for them. All of them got carried away. For you to see a black man, if you do not prepare their mind for the task ahead, if they are not prepared for the task ahead, you know what is going to happen? They might join force with your enemy without them knowing. Some of them are actually, ignorantly joining force with the enemy without them knowing. And some of them are so deliberate about it because they never loved Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's initiative. They are one Nigerianist. And some of them are doing this thing of nepotism. He is our person. Just like the one who say Simon Wannem. Simon Wannem. We are doing even one hears. It is about trying to bring nepotism or trying to bring this tribalism into the struggle, which is something that destroys every struggle in this magnitude. They are trying all their best to see if they will find a way to destroy the struggle in every means possible. But they could not, because we remain resolute. They deceived some people on the ground, made them to turn against the struggle. They utilized the opportunity that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu canceled the sit at home, which was initiated by the DOS, in order to stand in solidarity with him, because the Nigeria government refused to bring him to court. So in order to force them to see Mazen Nnamdi Kanu And they placed him in a comunicado within that period of time. That was the plan that warranted to that sit at home that took place. But at the end of the day, such sit at home, somebody used it as if Mazen Nnamdi Kanu knew what that sit at home was going to be like. He called the DOS to cancel it because he knows that the enemy will make use of it in order to terrorize our land and blame it on us. He said, no, you should not initiate it, cancel it. This enemy capitalized on that for 2 years. Every day sit at home. Every day sit at home. No one listened to them in Biafra land. They are forcing it. They are trying all their best. They even try to use it at home to make election rigging easy. In 2022 presidential election in Nigeria, they tried everything with that sit at home. They failed. And they were bringing insecurity in our land. The same thing Fulani could not do. The same thing terrorists could not do that Eastern Security Network assuaged. They decided to bring it using internal enemy, a factionalism, using it to destroy the IPOB, the structure of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu from within, so that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will be forgotten in the dungeon. And this man whom, people now who are so much active on the social media are supporting. And some of them who were actually, paid agents to support what they are doing are there, trying to nullify everything that the leadership is doing, that we are doing in solidarity with Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and in the quest for Biafra restoration and the mind emancipation of our people. They have failed in all ramifications. And he has come back to tell you today the reason why we are doing action, because everybody wants action, including me. If my emotion were to come, to take over me, I want action because I want anything that hurts Nigeria. But how can I want action that is only hurting my people? The people that is because of them I am risking my life to sit here to expose the criminalities of these evil people who were able to rendition Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Who am I? So, for you to understand the trajectories, now they've been calling to oppress these people that we are fighting for. A woman that sell small, business, you do small business in a free market, they go and destroy that business. A woman that their capital might not even be up to $100. The capital they use to feed their, they make profit out of to feed their family on a daily basis. Maybe 2-course meal or even 1. They went ahead and destroyed the livelihood of these people. In the name they are fighting for Biafra. Anybody who speak about Biafra because of this teaching that we give, they will run after that person, make a poster, and say it is their job that is bringing this thing. Just like Joshua Maponya. So, it is now very, very obvious that these people have nothing to offer. There is a difference between an activist. Activism is a gift. Activism is a gift. Being able to speak. And media analysis is as well as a gift. But there is difference between those two. But in our own situation, we have all that quality. That is the reason why this teaching, we will never run out of topic. Because once we come online, the topic will start flowing. I might work the whole day anytime I decide to do premeditation of what I am going to preach, you will find me being slow. I will be very slow when I come to teach. But if I don't premeditate what I am going to teach, it comes out fluently and eloquently. So that is exactly one thing that I have discovered. So it is very, very important for them to understand. The reason why I am touching base with all these things is for you to know that this activism and the awareness and the mind emancipation gospel that we are preaching, it is a way to go. We are not only preaching this thing for our own people, only for Biafra land. From the beginning, what I do in the media space is activism on African decolonization. That's what I do in the media space. Before Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was taken out. That's why I started actually preaching Biafra. So it is very, very important for people to understand that we have it. We don't lack it. So because they notice that what we are doing is superior to what he claimed he is doing, he start telling people, no, it is no longer the time for broadcast. It is time for action. Action from where? The same man whom told you that he will give you Biafra in 200 and something days in 2022. Those days pass. He did not give you Biafra. He told you, promised you so many things. He never did anything. This same man is the same guy who come to tell you that Biafra is dead. Do we want to see it? He told you that Biafra is dead. It is the same man today that is coming to tell you, no, there is no more preaching. It's
Mazi, we will be focused. We will be focused if they stop saying Biafra is dead and gone.
Forget about if they say it, they want you to.
Because it is very, very important when we remove a thief from a dog, we show the dog the thief.
Okay.
The dog will not
What is difficult for me?
Very, very important.
That is why the spirit is working for. I want to deliver you and deliver other people. You see? So if they talk, please Nelly Ofebu, leave all of them. And the only thing you should know is that Nelly Ofebu is working so hard to implement everything we are doing to see the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And it is connected to bringing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu out, which is also bringing the Biafra out from the DSS dungeon. So you can't beat that.
No, Mazi, I don't agree. I don't agree with that.
I'm telling you now, no. You don't agree that Nelly is fighting for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu?
No, I don't agree.
So you mean she's not fighting for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu?
Because you said Mazi is carrying Biafra. If Mazi is carrying Biafra and she said Biafra is dead, that means she's saying Mazi is dead.
And I have told you to forget whatever Nelly said about Biafra is dead. You yourself know that Biafra is dead.
Why is it Mazi, we will be focused. We will be focused if they stop saying.
Did you hear that? You yourself knows that Biafra is dead. This is the man who tell you, no, it is action now. It is action. A man who told you he will buy Iron Dome and make Biafra land no flight zone. A man who told you he has bought ship, warship and everything. Just for you to give him $50,000, $10,000, 50 people. A man like that, they have placed to hijack this struggle and sell it to highest bidder. That is the job of this guy in Finland, to take the struggle and sell it to highest bidder. When he saw that everything failed, he went to call himself crime minister in exile. That's what he did. He became crime minister in exile. All the lies that he has told people over the years. That's why I said he is using clergy format to promote the criminality that he's doing. Because when a pastor lied to you today, so many pastors who told you that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will be released tomorrow, all of them, where are they? So many pastors who told you that they have lied to you in several occasions. After lying to you, they will come back and they will find a way to tell you, they did this, that is how it is. They will find a way to lie to you again. They know how to lie. They will tell you you are going to be blessed in 25th of October. 25th of October, come and gone. He said you did not pray nicely. You did not commit yourself to pray very well in order to achieve that blessing. That's what they will tell you. This is now what is called a systematic, another type of colonialism. That's what the pastors, they do to their members. That's what this guy is doing to them. Today they are organizing a program in Finland where you need to pay a ticket to go into the program. You need to pay a ticket to go into the program. $200, $250, $270 to go into a program as IPOB, people who are agitators. Agitation now, when you want to sit in the same hall with the so-called crime minister, you have to pay money. Now, for you to know that what these people are doing, money-making scheme, because I believe that whoever that is sponsoring them they have seen that these people cannot deliver what they are assigned to do, because the IPOB and the media is very formidable. Now, what we are here to ask them, a very simple question. What is the meaning of self-referendum? What is the meaning of self-referendum? Because when we talk about self-referendum, what is the meaning of it? So Nigeria government did all that to find a way to keep Mazen Nnamdi Kanu without nobody coming for him. They tried to implicate IPOB to make it a terrorist so that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will never come out. Everybody will now abandon him. But little did they know that it is not possible. Not in 1 trillion years. So that is the reason why now they are using delay strategy. Are you aware? Are you aware that anybody who go to see Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, whenever that person come to communicate the message of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, are you aware that they are being monitored? Are you aware that word to word of what they say after the message of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, are you aware that they are being traced? They are being monitored by word to word of everything they say. Just like the Igwe Umweri, Igwe Umundri. When he was delivering the conversation he had with Nnamdi Kanu, the DSS was monitoring that situation closely to see what exactly is in the mind of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, because they could not see it from the lawyers. They believe they will see it from the civilians who go there, or not civilians, like people who are ordinary people who go to visit him. Even Benjamin Madobugu, are you aware that word to word of the message he delivered, they monitored it to know what exactly is the mind of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu? Are you aware of that? They made sure that they want to know what is in the mind of this guy. They will actually bring that. They watch those videos. those informations. They watch it more than you watch it. Because the plan is to know exactly what is the message coming from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. What is in the mind of this man? That's why they scrutinize these people who comes and give you messages. They scrutinize them very well. So, what am I trying to say? They did everything. And the Malami, who ordered the stay of execution, is no longer in the office. Therefore, Malami, who does not have any mandate to come to court or to, follow suit or to do anything with regards to the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Buhari, which was keeping the imposter in Asari and the group of cabals in Asari, led by what is the name of this guy? Those group of cabal, Garba Shehu, they were pushing, they are no longer there. So who is going to stop the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on the 24th of October? I believe the court case is on the 24th of October, if I am not mistaken. Who is going to be against the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on the 24th of October? 24th. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been tried. This is just a confirmation on the to see if there is any merit with regards to the reason for stay of execution. If there is no merit, they just need to quash it, deliver a judgment. Everybody go home. So, it has been almost 1 year. So, it is now like 7 months or 8 months. Now, 7 months or 8 months. It was in October 13th. So, we are in August. So it is like 10 months already. 10 months already. That Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been staying in solitary confinement against the order of the court. So if it is 10 months already, then who is going to stop this verdict from thriving? Attorney General, a corrupted Attorney General of Federation. Number one, if the court want to do its job, they will actually see the stance or the profiles of these people who executed this stay of execution, who executed the case from the court of the first instance, Buhari body double, and the Attorney General who is super corrupt. Those two. Attorney General is answering a criminal charges. They need to now look at this to actually check the trajectories, look into the antecedents of these people. What could be, the reason why they want this man to stay execution? What could be? Could it be because of their corruption cases that is there? Because they know that this man is capable of exposing it. Staying of execution of this man, could it be they are trying to hide something? The court will say, no, we are quashing this thing because the people, this case has no merit. This case has no merit. The verdict of appeal court stands. That's how the case is supposed to be. Because the people who established those cases, they are no longer there. They are no longer there. So the case does not have any merit. The appeal court judgment stands. So if indeed on the 24th of September, if I am not mistaken, which is the date, I know it is in September, If Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is not released, we will also know that the court of Nigeria is also as well in cohoot with what insecurity happening in Biafra land in the name of releasing Nnamdi Kanu. The insecurity that is being caused by Ekperima in Finland in the name of release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. We know that the executive are the ones who orchestrated it and planned it very well. With some of the governors that is from that area, like Hope Uzodimma. Those are the people who are planning this evil. But we have actually made peace with it to say, if Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is not released, we will know that as much as the executive are the ones masterminding the insecurity that is engulfing our land, that the judiciary are as well involved. When judiciary is supposed to protect the law and the interest of the people, judiciary protect the law and the interest of the people. That is what judiciary does. Because within the law, Nigeria has no jurisdiction to try the case. It is nullified. The case has no merit. Because number one, the person who initiated stay of execution need to recuse himself. Because he's facing a serious criminal charges. If he was still there in the position of Attorney General, and he used his position to, bring this stay of execution, he must recuse himself. Because everything they did, it is on their personal vendetta. It is on their personal interest. It is not on the interest of the people. That Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is kept in the solitary confinement. Now we also understand that the executive, that there is an election tribunal that is going on in Biafra land. Election tribunal going on in Biafra land. We also understand that they want to use it also to play a joker, which is one thing we will not tolerate. They use Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to play a joker with the election tribunal. I have called on Tinubu that you do not have much time. Release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu through the order of the court, not through your order. Allow court, because we know that the stay of execution is well orchestrated by the APC, led by you, APC led by Buhari, now transferred to you, because you have no business with this case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. At some point, Buhari was not championing one Nigeria. At some point, Tinubu saw that one Nigeria is a scam. And he actually, he never championed one Nigeria. The same thing Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is doing today. So, you cannot inherit the curse of Buhari, dead Buhari. You cannot inherit his curse. Wash your hands of the curse. And let the court verdict stand. That is the call we have for you. Because when we are going to be playing the video of this guy called, what is the name of this guy? Asari Dokubo. That's where you are going to see the charges on Attorney General Malami. When I play the video, that's when you will see another atrocities of Attorney General. You will hear it. Then we will now contextualize it with this. We're already an hour into this program. Now, another thing we need to ask, because once the video to analyze of Asari Dokubo is quite long. What is self-referendum that the autopilot has been feeding their, these people who are following them? What is the meaning of self-referendum? Does it have any meaning? Any intellectual that is in the comment section, can you please, can you please educate our people or tell our people in that comment section what is the meaning of a self-referendum? Is there anything like self-referendum? Does it make sense? We know that there is referendum. Referendum is actually a democratic process whereby the majority of the people will determine or will vote against or with a policy, be it a policy to amend the constitution, a policy to say that we do not want to belong here anymore, a policy to see if we are going to be, called this name or we are going to be called the other name. That is the meaning of a referendum. But now, when somebody come and baptize it and tell you that he is looking for you on your behalf, he is looking forward to get you a self-referendum. What is the meaning of self-referendum? Those autopilot in that place in the comment section will not. I want you people to analyze and explain to me. Maybe you will be able to convince me. What is the meaning of a self-referendum? So that I will know whether, I am misjudging you people. Because ever since he came into this party, he's been saying self-referendum. You sit at home, you are conducting a self-referendum. You sit at home, you do this, it is a self-referendum. What is the meaning of self-referendum? If we may ask. I have not seen any autopilot here telling me what is, telling me, the meaning of what self-referendum. Is it me that okay, what is a self-referendum? The YouTube is in front of me, or maybe I will put my phone. I want one person, maybe I will put my number. I just want one person to call. If you have my number, I don't have it to place it here. Tell me, what is a self-referendum? I want autopilot only autopilot member to call and tell me what is a self-referendum. Because of that autopilot, let me place a number on the screen. If they know that they know what they are doing, all I want you is to call and tell me the real meaning of self-referendum. What does it mean? Self-referendum. Where is this? That's all I want from you, autopilot. Self-referendum. And I want only autopilot member to call. Let us see if we don't maybe we didn't understand autopilot members. 727288613. Now, I'm placing the number on the screen so that the autopilot will tell us what is the meaning of self-referendum. I hope you can see the WhatsApp number. The WhatsApp number is on the screen. Let me put it this side. Please tell us what is the meaning of self-referendum. If you call on WhatsApp, I will pick it up. But while we are waiting for you to tell us what is the meaning of self-referendum, so that we will know, maybe it is a new English that we have not discovered. It is a new English that we have not you know, found in a dictionary, or maybe we don't understand the meaning. The meaning might be coming from the autopilot. They should tell us exactly what is the meaning of a self-referendum. I just want a call from one autopilot. One autopilot. Just one. Because I don't have time to take more calls. We have a lot to talk about. So that they will explain to me what is the meaning of self-referendum. Or maybe they should call Ekperima, their master, to tell them exactly what is the meaning of self-referendum. Then he will tell them and they will call me to tell me. Because the reason why I am asking this is that I know there is only one referendum. Referendum that is conducted going through actually a voting process. So I don't know where if there is another referendum called self-referendum. So if there is self-referendum, what do you call the other referendum? Now, bringing us to it, they will not call because they are all bunch of cowards. They won't even call because they are not objective. They will not even engage in an argument. They don't know how to engage in a constructive argument. Now, I want them to tell us what is a self-referendum, because every time this guy come online, he will tell you, we are organizing a seminar of a self-referendum. We are organizing a sit-at-home of a self-referendum. What is that self-referendum? They will not call because they are all cowards. They will just be on the comment section. I want the world to hear their voice so that you will understand, because I know if you want to challenge IPOB, you call out on IPOB in a program now to say, we want to know what is this thing you are doing. IPOB member around will call to tell you exactly what we are doing. If you say we are fighting for freedom, but that is what makes us different from them. They are a bunch of cowards who does not even know anything they are doing. It is all about using some, even some Ghanaian people to dupe people to actually extort money from our people. They are organizing a seminar for self-referendum. That's what they said. Now you ask yourself, what is the meaning of that? Self-referendum, what does it mean? Now when you organize a seminar, you pay $250 to Ekperima, and you call it, you are now doing a self-referendum. And we want to actually ask these people, Ekperima live in Finland, and he is all and all in Finland. And as Finland is supporting him, why can't Finland support him militarily to go and destroy the Nigeria he claimed he will destroy every day? Each and every time he come online, he tell you, we are going to destroy Nigeria. We are going to do this. Why can't, and he will tell you sometimes he is aligning with Russia. Why is he leaving Finland and looking forward to align with Russia, which is enemy to Finland, where he is a citizen of? Or does he support the enemy of the country that he is domiciled? Does he support the enemy of the country that is a citizen of? So they will not tell you the real meaning of what he called self-referendum. Now, if we want to bring the context of this self-referendum to what we are doing, now we want to ask you, who are the people that make a sovereign nation? In the event of referendum, what is a referendum? A referendum is conducted when a majority of people are actually seen to believe in self-determination. When majority of people is actually perceived to support one agenda, in order to clarify the stance of this majority, that will be like a vote of confidence, where people are going to go and vote in favor of what they are actually agitating for. Now, the outright majority of the voters are going to determine the decision of what they are agitating for. So now, the last time I checked as well, I know that majority of the people on the ground, my nose is blocked. The majority of the people on the ground must give you their support. Even before you call yourself a government in exile, majority, you must be in control of the ground where you are fighting to restore. You must actually be in charge. The people must know you. The people must listen to you. The people must be seeing you as the government. But when a situation whereby nobody know you, nobody sees you as a government, other than those people that are constituting nuisance in the social media, some of them are using it to make money in their blog. Some of them are actually, those are the only thing, because it is a blog, it's a business for people. Other than that, you could not even order for sit at home and it stands. A man who could not order for sit at home and it will stand, the same man who come and tell you, the same man who said Biafra is dead, it is the same man who told you that without Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu probably is the one stopping Biafra from being achieved. Look at this video.
They can now understand that without Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, we are going to get Biafra faster. They have come to understand that this one, Enweke Semia, or calling boycott of election and calling off the boycott of election, is not in our dictionary. They have come to understand that we are actually not talking about the boycotting of election. We are stopping Nigeria from conducting election. The only election that is going to be allowed is a referendum. And I know that a radical awareness, they can now understand that without Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, we are going to get Biafra faster. They have come to understand that this one, Enweke Semia, or calling...
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? This is the reason why they want to remove Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, so that they will place him to hijack the struggle and sell it to the highest bidder. That's why he is telling you, so that you will start getting used to it, that if Mazen Nnamdi Kanu stays in the solitary confinement, he will get you Biafra, so that he will make you not to worry. He will make you not to worry about Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, because he has what it takes to get you Biafra. So forgetting Mazen Nnamdi Kanu in the solitary confinement, support him so that he will give you Biafra. Because if Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is outside, he will not get you Biafra quickly. Because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu does Onweke Esiemia. Onweke Esiemia. You boycott the election today, you cancel it today because you see Onweke Esiemia. That is Mazen Nnamdi Kanu that he is referring to. This is the person who tell you he is fighting for your freedom. The same person who told you Biafra is dead. What is he fighting for if Biafra is dead? Uwa Sophia told you that this guy was the one masterminding Idu before they have issue with Nelly, that he showed Nelly's nudes all over the place. For you to see he is shameless. The same guy is telling you that without Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, but he's claiming that he is fighting and committing crime in our land for the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, but he said without Mazen Nnamdi Kanu that he will get Biafra more faster. So why do you think that the person who believes that he will get Biafra faster without Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is clamoring for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to come out? Because some of you are forgetting so quickly. You forget so quickly. Sometimes introspection is very, very important. Self-introspection. You don't need somebody to actually, check it for you. Do it, this introspection on yourself. Check yourself to see, am I on the right track? Am I doing the right thing? Now, that is the reason why he tells you that broadcast is not the way anymore. It is setting up a platform where they will be collecting money and reaching themselves. That is the way. Broadcast is no longer the way. So you don't need to be, it is not important for this, at least when we talk about self-decolonization, or when we talk about, emancipation of our people, it comes through this broadcast, it comes through this teaching, this medium which we use to communicate. Thank God for the fourth industrial revolution. Thank God for all these things put in place by Mark Zuckerberg and other people who put up the Google and the Twitter. Because if not this, we will not have access to preach this gospel of emancipation. We will not have access to preach this gospel for our people, even though many people are using it to do wrong things. But it is very, very important that you understand that this gospel must be preached. Anybody who will come and tell you it is no longer time for the broadcast, that person is a criminal, and they are actually trying to take you, because the primary reason why they were placed there is to take you to unprepared, war. So that Nigeria will exhaust everything, and they would see you, they will collide with or collude with ECOWAS, and they call you aggressor. They will kill you like animals. The same way they are being pushed to be used against the Niger Republic. Those who decided that they have no other choice than to resolve to where they are today. The ECOWAS is claiming they want to restore democracy, but they have not restored democracy in their own nations. Where election is coming, they will rig election. In the way of Africa, it is election rigging. Most of the places, election rigging all the way. Election rigging. Every day the same story. Every time the same story. So if you don't prepare people who you are trying to take to war, tell them the implications of the war. And while we are analyzing and educating Asari Dokubo now on what geopolitical quagmire, how you navigate a geopolitical quagmire, such as where he said you cannot align, you cannot be leaving one colonial power and you are going to another. Alignment is very, very important. Alignment. It is very, very important. And that is something, when you are aligning, that is the reason why African leaders are incompetent. They do not understand the meaning of foreign policy. And that is the reason why they are being used against them to exploit them. Because if you understand the real true meaning of a foreign policy, you will know that it is chasing after something that is going to be beneficial for your country and the people of your country. That is the reason why there is alignment. It is a must. You will align. You form a bilateral relationship with people. Even in the midst of war or in the midst of political quagmire or geopolitical quagmire, there must be an alignment that is, you are going to make this alignment in a way that it is going to favor you or your own people. I think somebody is calling me. Let me see if it is Autopilot member, because I want Autopilot to call only. Did you drop? Let me call him back. Okay, we will wait for you to call again. I think you don't have it is connecting, but it is not working. Maybe they do not have a good reception where they are. So, talking about this issue, the alignment, whenever you are aligning, you align and make a deal that is actually going to be in favor of the people of your country and your country. You put your country first, not yourself. Because the African leaders, most of them, they put themselves first, forgetting the country. They put themselves first. Are you an Autopilot member? You have a very bad signal. You have a very, very bad signal. It's not connecting. I think you should move around or... Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me? So, that is where we are heading now. I wish that this person will call and connect so that we will see the quality of the mind of Autopilot, if he is an Autopilot. We want to see the quality of the mind of Autopilot. He's calling again. Now, I don't want it to be a distraction. If you don't have network to call, please don't call again. If you don't have network to call, or if you don't have enough data to call, please don't call. I don't want it to be a distraction to me. So like I was saying, the leaders of Africa, they place their interest first, not the interest of the nation. That is the reason why most of the alignment they make fail. But when you are making alignment, you should actually think about foreign policy. Think about what exactly is going to be the policy that you are going to accept that is going to be in benefit of your own country and your economy. Those are the things you need to allow. Yes, I don't know if it cut again, please don't call again.
Hello?
Yes, listen from the phone. Don't listen from the please don't call again. Don't call again. Don't call again, please. Don't call again. You are not I don't know if you are doing it deliberately. Please don't call again. So, that is the reason why we are going to now bring the Asari Dokubo, the video of Asari Dokubo, and we are going to analyze the story of Asari Dokubo. That is what I want to do now, to analyze the story of Asari Dokubo. Let us go there. I said if you don't have network or you are listening through your phone, please don't call again. If you drop again, please don't call again. You are distracting me.
Okay. Can you hear me out now?
I can hear you. Go ahead. Are you an Autopilot?
Okay. I'm not any Autopilot, but I just want to ask a question.
Okay, what question do you want to answer?
Okay. The question I want to ask now is that, we are talking about Mazi Simon Ekpa, what he's doing in Southeast and what he's not doing in Southeast. The question I want to ask now is I want to know what you people are doing about the release of Jen Namodekano, because we have not heard anything from the IPOB. And that's why people disbelieve in Simon Ekpa. Because if they say that Mazi Namdekan send a message that we should stop painting concerning sit at home or something that nature, those people that went there to see him should quickly come out with him together, so that we all will believe that what they're saying is truth. Because where they went to see him is not his father's house, it's not his mother's house. They went to see him in Detion place. which is abnormal. We all are human beings. We should think about that. If that should be your brother or your cousin, somebody will tell that he went to prison and saw him and left him there and come out and start telling you story. How do you see it?
Are you done? Hello? Hello? Okay. You just come and I like it. You ask your question and after saying it, you just drop the call. Okay. Number one, asking me what the DOS is doing when you are autopilot. I don't think it is a proper thing to ask. You know, whenever you see them, they tell you, Mazi Simon Ekpa, you should know that number one, they are autopilot. Anybody that will call a criminal Mazi, Mazi, is an autopilot. You don't respect criminals. They are criminals. So, having seen your question, it is actually a question that is I am prevalent with autopilot. This is something they ask all the time. And even if you answer it 100 times, they will continue to ask it. How do you want to know what IPOB is doing to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu when you are not part of IPOB? You are autopilot. If you want to be part of IPOB, then you be part of IPOB. Champion things of IPOB. Because the people who are with IPOB, they know. And you are not IPOB. You want to just come and hear what we are doing so that you will sabotage it. Because that's exactly the reason why you people ask this question all the time. And if I ask you now, what is Simon doing in the quest for release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you will tell me that he is putting sit at home. Is it not what you are going to tell us? He is initiating sit at home, shouting, and enforcing it with some people who destroy the livelihood of ordinary people, poor people on the ground. The same people you are trying to liberate from poverty, from economic marginalization. It's the same people you are enforcing sit at home and you say you are going to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu through that. Do you think that Fulani who wanted to send, or I will not say Fulani, Nigeria government who wanted to send terrorism into your land, do you think they don't know terrorism into your land will cost them a lot of money? Do you think they don't know? Do you think they don't know, but yet they deliberately was doing it, transporting them into our land? So, if to cause insecurity in our land is what pains the government, why do you think the government will allow Fulani to go into our land and they will be forcing the governors to give them bushes and land to graze? If they know that the insecurity in Biafra land is something that costs them a lot, that pains them, do you think they will want Fulani to be grazing and killing people and causing terrorism activities in the Biafra land? And when somebody else now who claim he is fighting for release of this man that exposed all their criminal activities is now acting like those terrorists that they wanted to send to our land, and you believe they will release Nnamdi Kanu because somebody is doing the bidding that they want, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been assuaging, has been stopping from occurring in our land. So you believe that doing that they will release Nnamdi Kanu, or doing that they will keep him there so that the person will escalate destroying the land, because the plan of the Nigeria is to destroy Biafra land so that people like you, if you do not know your so-called Mazi Simon Ekperima, you will say, no, if it is the way Biafra is going to be, rather, this Biafra is rubbish, I don't want to hear about it again. Because that is the plan of you people. In the name that we are trying to release Nnamdi Kanu. It is what you people use as your slogan. Sit at home, sit at home. Sit at home, sit at home. Legal practitioner you don't have that goes for the case of Nnamdi Kanu. You don't have a lawyer. You are asking me, what are we doing? Let's start from the simple thing. You do not have a lawyer that is representing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in judiciary, because the case is in the judiciary. First thing you need to do is to have a lawyer that answers to you, a lawyer that actually gives you actually the update of what is happening? Does Autopilot receive update of what is happening? Ever since there was a bridge between Ejimako and your master, which they've been doing governor meeting all this while in secret and sharing money. So after that, we bridge that gap. Are you people still hearing from anybody again? Meanwhile, Ejimako is not representing Mazen Nnamdi Kanu case as it stands now. The people who represent the Mazen Nnamdi Kanu case is Michael Zokome and Ejiofor. Those are the two people who are representing the case. So which lawyer did the Autopilot make available? Which is the first thing first? Since you know that these lawyers that are working with the DOS, that they are incompetent, and this case is in the judiciary, which need a competent lawyer in order to stand in that, against all odds to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu within the ambit of the law, which is what is going to prevail at some point. Where is the lawyer that you have actually established that will go and represent Mazen Nnamdi Kanu? That is the first thing first we need to tell you that we are doing. First thing first, which is in the public domain. But if you want to know the secret things we are doing and what we are planning, you should actually come to you should renew your oath as IPOB member, so that we will know that you are worthy to know what IPOB does. Because all the IPOB knows, but Autopilot cannot know what IPOB is doing, because Autopilot is a criminal syndicate who extort money from people, which a freedom fighter will tell you before you come into a meeting. You pay for food, you pay for ticket, you are paying ticket to go and sit in the same hall with Mazi Ekperima. Is that not ironic? What is IPOB doing? But we have representatives in the legal field there, which is the primary obligation of IPOB. The primary things that anybody that is in this situation need to put in place. What is this Mazi Ekperima in Finland doing? The Autopilot. Tell us one. Because anybody that is claiming he's fighting to release Nnamdi Kanu and claiming that the lawyers representing Nnamdi Kanu, they are all corrupt and criminals, and he did not bring his lawyer who is not corrupt and criminals, and he is telling you that desecrating the Biafra land and causing insecurity in Biafra land is the what will compel the judiciary, the court, to release anybody. Have you ever seen anything riot in Nigeria release somebody from court? Have you ever seen riot releasing anybody from court in any country? Riot. Because let me just play a devil advocate that it is a riot that you people are conducting in that regard. In the name of riot, you are desecrating and killing people. The land of Biafra. So it is going to go to judiciary and force the judiciary to release the person without standing and defend that person in the aspect of law. So I believe you will answer this question you asked me. That is where I am going to leave it. I believe you will answer the rest because I have given you a good example and a good secret of it. That is how they reason. The first thing they will always ask you, what are you doing to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu? So that they will know the next move. They will know how they will truncate it. They will know how they will create a parallel of what you are doing. It's always like that. Our secret is known by the allies of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, not by the enemies of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Okay? Thank you very much. And that is actually not the reason why I wanted you to call, but you call and start speaking something else. I don't know why none of them will ever say they are autopilot. They will tell you they are not autopilot, but you could see they are autopilot. How can you be genuine? You are not proud. I have never seen any autopilot proud to say that we are autopilot. Why? Because you know it is a criminal syndicate that is taking you nowhere. So, let us proceed. But anyway, thank you for calling. Thank you for calling. But you called and you dropped the call and you go to, you call the master, because I told you call the master, but the master is supposed to tell you once what you needed to ask. But you called the master, he told you now, or I don't know why you call and drop the call in order and you started calling again. Does it mean you need to get another information before you come and ask me? I'm not the one who will, we know all your moves and your stunts. So, but anyway, thank you very much for making that call. It means that you are the bravest amongst them. The bravest amongst them. But you acted like a coward because you call and drop the call. You throw your question and you drop the call. That makes you a coward as well. He's calling again. Yes.
I'm not getting anything like information. But thinking that I'm getting, so I'm not getting anything like information. I just asked a question as the normal people of Nigeria. I believe that Nigeria don't respect them like citizens.
Nigeria don't do what?
Nigeria don't regard anything like citizen. Are you like? I'm not sure that anybody can come out and be proud that such is the system of Nigeria. Because if anybody is proud to say that, let me say why can't the IPOB go to Abuja to present that if someone that court have already granted, like I'm sure that court have granted him release. Why are they still holding him? Well, so for us to be fighting Simon Ekpa, this opportunity that we're using to fight Simon Ekpa, we should use this opportunity to fight the federal government to release the Nnamdi Kanu.
Oh, when I started this program, what was I doing?
So I didn't jam you. I didn't meet up when you started. What are you like?
My program, I give you an option in that program. You can rewind it. If you want to see what, you can rewind it, you can push it back. Any of my program I am doing, you can rewind and fast forward. So that is exactly.
If I feel okay, sir, don't be offended. If I feel one wants to rely on them, I think that POB is something that is very big that everybody in Nigeria knows about.
Okay.
Why am I thinking now? Somebody like Asari Dokubo is threatening the whole Igbo people. Like the IPOBs have not even reacted to it. Somebody that came to Igbo land telling Igbo people that he's the one that sent people to go to Igbo land and kill. Everybody here is clear. Nobody is talking anything about it. We are pushing Simon Ekpa because he's our own brother.
Okay, Asari Dokubo is not our own brother.
Asari Dokubo denied us. He denied Igbo. He said he don't bully, that he's not an Igbo person. Why are we still fighting on something? We are fighting Simon Ekpa that accepted that he's still an indigenous of Igbo. But we live outside the border.
How do you know that Simon Ekpa is origin of Igbo?
Simon Ekpa is from Ebonyi State, which nobody is doubting it, and many people knows about it.
Oh, he's from Ebonyi State. Do you know who is his father and his mother? The way we know who is the father of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and the mother.
I know the father and the mother.
Oh, you know.
If we should trace it, we will find out the father and the mother.
If you should trace, do you need to trace about knowing? Do you need to trace about knowing where your leader come from? What makes a person leader? What makes you follow somebody in a delicate situation like this? Is it not knowing their background first?
Yes, I know. I understand where you're heading to. I understand. This is what you're saying. But I just want to let you people know that we should try to always understand some things. The pressure that we are using to pursue Simon Ekpa, we should use that the same pressure to bring Nnamdi Kanu out from that place, or to tell Asari to go to the boy in them that is killing people in Imo State and other places. Because are you trying to tell them that you are hearing what Asari Dokubo is saying? that you're only caring about Simon Ekpa own.
Okay, are you done? Let me answer you.
I'm done.
Okay, number one. Have you forgotten that Simon told you that he is the one in charge of the Eastern Security Network? Where do you pay your dues to?
Where did I pay my dues to?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I'm even paying dues because I don't see anything that anybody is doing.
Okay.
Like, why I'm
Okay.
just supporting that
Okay.
why I'm saying what is doing. Because before Nnamdi Kanu went to prison, he's the one that put Monday sit at home. Okay,
Wait.
now if they want us to see,
Wait. You are lying now. So I don't want you to lie. I don't want us to lie with each other, against one another. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu did never put any sit at home before he went to prison. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu put sit at home on the 30th of May, which is the Remembrance Day, commemoration of our fallen heroes. That was the only sit at home he put. Now, let's come out of it. Let's come out of that one. I don't want to emphasize on it because I have other things to do. Now, you said, I ask you, where do you pay your Eastern Security Network dues? You say you are not sure that you are paying dues, which is now you don't even know yourself. So how then are you going to be able to answer the question I am going to ask you?
ask the question, any question you answer, I will answer you. But you have not answered my own because you have not answered me why you people impeach Asari Dokubo's word. And are you people
No, but I am trying to answer your question because how are we going to now respond to Asari Dokubo's terrorists on the ground if we are not in charge of Eastern Security Network? Simon told us that he's the one in charge. So how are we going to respond to them?
You people should make us understand that if you people want us to believe that you people are the one that is in charge, you people should give Asari Dokubo a serious warning by threatening Igbo that you people are guided. We believe that IPOB is the people that like.
No, so when it comes to the things that people need to see, if we go and now single Asari Dokubo and kill him, what will be the benefit of you? What will be your benefit, if I may ask you?
What will be my benefit?
Yeah, and the benefit to the struggle.
Is that okay? Okay, now if you should kill Simon Ekpa, as you people are threatening to find him, like disturbing everything that he's doing, if you people should kill him, what is going to be your benefit too? Because Simon Ekpa said it openly that Nnamdi Kanu that he was going to kick Nnamdi Kanu out and kill him. Nobody said anything. Nobody said a word. He meant that he's telling people for slavery. Nobody said a word. He came out again that he's the one that is killing people in Imo State and other places. None of the IPOB said a word. Why is it that
you see how you are lying? You see how you are lying? Where did you hear that he said he's the one killing people?
Hey, guys, if you are doubting it,
no, where did you hear it? Which platform? I know he said it. I know he said it.
On your comment section, so we see that you go to that place.
Listen. Where did you hear it?
Openly to everybody, which nobody is that against.
Where did you hear it from? For the first time. From the first time, where did you hear it from?
I heard it from Asari Dokubo's mouth. I heard it on Facebook.
From which platform on Facebook? Because I know that I make a exposition on Asari Dokubo almost every day. So you might have heard it from me. If you are following this page, I know you must have heard it from me. So you are now lying again when you are saying that none of us say or do anything about it.
I'm not lying. Like nothing like lying.
So the only thing that will make you happy now, if we come and tell you no, Asari Dokubo's boys, we killed 10 of them, or we have killed Asari Dokubo, we cut his throat the way Autopilot people are doing, and we make a video and give you, it will make you happy, and it will be the one that will release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, right?
You are now lying again. Okay. Oh yeah. What are you people? What is the IPOB now? Well, like you people are what is? I'm not talking about IPOB. I'm not insulting anybody in IPOB, but I'm talking about some particular people that came out to talk about their own fellow woman. Be like they don't want to talk about how to put the nation together. Okay, like what they call in them? That say that is the you want to call yourself the leader of IPOB or what? that said his name. What is that thing saying?
You don't know what do you mean? Who is the leader of which leader are you talking about?
Like he was, I thought that he would be the one that they would give the leader, but unfortunately I found out that another person was the leader.
Who is supposed to be the one?
I'm not talking. I'm not saying that anybody should be the one, but I said that I thought that he was the leader by like the way.
You thought that who is the leader? Be specific. So who are you referring to as the leader?
Like, what you be this man? The one that is living, whether South Africa, the one that is living in South Africa.
My brother, which tribe are you from? Are you Hausa or you are Yoruba or you are Igbo? Which one are you?
You didn't need to ask me that I'm from Igbo. Like I'm from Igbo. I didn't make I'm from Igbo. Like I'm from Igbo. I'm from Enugu State.
I know you are from 042. I can hear it from your Igbo accent. So let's leave that one there. So who is the leader of IPOB in the absence of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu?
Oh, that question should not be for me because you people that is IPOB that the Mazen Nnamdi Kanu gave the order. Like you.
Oh, you are not even IPOB member, so you don't know anything in the IPOB.
Yeah, let me say the floor members. Now we supposed to be giving you people 100% assurance, but you people are not doing like that. You people are not showing us hope that tomorrow would be better or tomorrow that this person is coming out or tomorrow that you people are.
So you want us to give you? You want us to lie to you the way Ekperima is lying to you? Is it what you want?
So if Manepa is lying, I'm not saying that he's saying it. I'm not, because in this life, even as we are talking, anything that you're saying with man, nobody knows what is going to take you to hell and what is going to lead you to hell.
No, but don't you check the antecedent of those people? Don't you check the past of what they said, how they actually navigated it? Or you?
I have never met him. I'm not even following him on Facebook. And sometimes I go to Facebook and see the way he, but I'm just trying to tell you people, if you people join together like that and fight this corruption, it will be more better to us. What that is killing everybody now is that everybody wants to become the leader.
Okay, thank you. Our conversation is over. Let me now address all these your points. Let me address all the points you have made because I need to move on, right?
Yeah, move on.
Okay. Number one is that. Why did you cut the call? I told you, let me address your problem. Now you drop the call. I wanted to address and answer all your questions and clear your confusion. I know he's not an IPOB member. I don't want to emphasize on that because when they are commenting on the comment section, there is no anything that will link them to be an IPOB member or not. But there are all these people who constitute nuisance in the comment section. That's why I am addressing him. I'm not addressing him because he's an IPOB member, but he is a Biafran, and at least he deserves that because we are actually doing this job for the sake of these people. There are sheep without shepherd. We need to bring them under one umbrella of a good shepherd. That's what we are doing. So don't actually say whether he's IPOB member or not. We know. So let me address what he said. Number one, he does not even know how the structure of IPOB is actually set up. So if he does not know how the structure is set up, how will he know what the structure is doing in order to achieve our goal? If he does not know how the structure is set up, how does he want to know exactly how IPOB day-to-day activity is running? He said that Asari Dokubo said he will do this, he will do that to Igbo people. And the only thing he wanted to hear from us is to say that no, we are going to now go there and we cut Asari Dokubo's head and we carry it and make a video. Or we will tell you that all Asari Dokubo's boys, we have eliminated all of them. That's what he wants to hear from us. Which is we are not doing anything. IPOB and Eastern Security Network, we are doing things to protect our land. Everybody have a freedom of speech, including Asari Dokubo. Asari Dokubo is on his own side, speaking what he wants. It is a freedom of speech, right? Talking is cheap, but doing it is the one that is very expensive. And you should understand and know that anybody who is coming into our land in the quest to kill our people, they don't go free. They will not go free. Anybody who will come to kill our people, they don't go free. That is one thing that we know that Eastern Security Network is doing. They protect our land. And they will not be everywhere at the same time. But they might be there later. And they will do the job diligently. And now, one thing that you people don't are actually always asking this question, which is quite irritating. What are you doing to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu? Why are you using the energy to fight Ekperima in Finland? Number one, if Ekperima in Finland removed the name of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu from his mouth today, you will not hear anybody fighting him again. Because if Ekperima in Finland is using Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's name, that the world will see, and he use it to commit crime, kill people, destroy and disrupt market women, and sometimes kill a pregnant woman, and using the name of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB. Now, when we talk about placing our name in the terrorist index, immediately when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, none of them ever asked such question. You will never see any of this autopilot coming to ask you this question. What actually happened? How did the IPOB get into the list of terrorist index? None of them will ever come to ask such question. The only thing they will be asking you, what are you doing to stop Asari Dokubo? What are you doing to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu? This is the only question they will be asking you. And when you decided to be emotional, and maybe you blurt your secret out on what you are doing or what you are planning to do, they will capitalize on it. That's why they are inconsistent when they are asking questions. Sometimes they drop the call again. Because they want to get, question that they need to ask, that when you become emotional and you leak a secret to them, you will find Ekperima in the next broadcast. God. You will find him in the next broadcast, sending signal to his controllers, the DSS, and the people who are making him to desecrate our land. That is the reason why these people are actually always asking, what are you doing? What are you doing? You don't need to ask, what are we doing? We have the lawyer there. That is the only thing you need to know. We have the lawyers that is representing Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And why are all of you against the lawyers that we have that is representing Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, when you don't have your own to replace them? And yet you are asking me, what are we doing? Now you say that Asari Dokubo say he is not Igbo. That he is not Igbo. Therefore, we should go and get his head and use it and pass it like a ball to you. That's what you are suggesting. But the Simon who told you he is in charge of Eastern Security Network, and you are donating money, I ask you, where do you donate your money? You say you are not even sure whether you are donating money. To see how insincere some of you are. Insincerity. You are not sure whether you are donating money. But you are donating because you don't know, nobody is doing anything. So why are you saying nobody is doing anything, but you have been supporting Simon all this while? How do you expect to know what someone you never supported, that you've been against, to know what they are doing? How do you actually want to know what they are doing when you never supported them before? Is that not ironic? So, the guy who called, if you want to know anything about IPOB. You go back to your zone. You make sure that you renew your, membership with your zone. From there, you will understand the activities of IPOB, their plans and what they are doing to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Everything is not meant for social media. We are not looking for your support. We are not trying to convince you or say what we are not doing or what we are doing to convince you to join IPOB. Biafra is a spirit. It's a light. Anybody that actually knows it, they will follow it. We don't need to convince you. It is by our fruit you will know us. But as long as your master continuously using the name of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB, IPOB will continue to fight him and distance ourselves from him, because it's the reason why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is still in the solitary confinement. That is the only thing I should tell you that you deserve to know. If Eberima will silence his mouth, if he claims he is fighting for freedom, let him not come and tell you he is doing this, he is doing that. Let him be doing it and be telling you in your secret groups. Let him stop using the name of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB. Maybe from there you will know whether we are doing something or not. But as long as he's doing it, he's doing what he's doing, trying to convince you. We are not in the convincing competition with this Eberima in Finland. We are not trying to convince you. As an Ahioman alone. So if we try to convince you, it will look like we are in competition with a criminal. So if you want to know, you will know. And you know where to go to know. But if you don't want to know, continue wallowing in your ignorance and lying to yourself, whether you know whether you are paying dues or not. He told you he is in charge of Eastern Security Network. You see him do fundraising every day. When you have never seen IPOB, why don't you ask him why he never sought Asari Dokubo and his criminal out in Biafra land? You are coming to ask me. Did you ever see me raising fund? Have you ever seen me raising fund to give Eastern Security Network? Have you ever seen any IPOB media warrior raising fund? So go and ask the people you always see raising fund, what are they doing to tackle some situation that you have actually a problem with. But we are not emotional. We are actually born and trained to do this. We are not emotional. So we are not looking for your followership or your support, because your support is actually, whether you support IPOB or not, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is coming out. It is in your best interest to support people who love you and doing everything for your emancipation and total liberation. It is not people who pretend. As in Itivuze Jakuko. It's not about to come out and say, we are doing this, we are doing that. It is action now. No, it is not about it. It is not blabbering in social media that makes you doing something. One question I need you to call Simon to ask him. How are you trying to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu when you know that all the lawyers are actually, they have sold out? There are saboteurs, all the lawyers. Have you ever seen somebody released in the court without a good lawyer? Have you ever seen somebody win a case without a good lawyer? The first thing first is the lawyer. That's what we are doing. And the second of it is that we are making sure we are blocking off anything that they are going to use the name of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to do, just for them to incriminate his name. That's what we are doing, and that's the area only you have to know. And we actually bring to the light the activities of Eberima in Finland and his co-saboteur, Asari Dokubo. Those are the things we do. So if you want to know, you know it. If you are ignorant of the fact, It is your problem. It is not mine. Then if you want to know deeper, then you come into the family. Then you know the secret of the family. We are not trying to, convince anybody, because the people, many are called, few are chosen. That's the only thing I have to tell you. And the rest of you who are watching, that is Autopilot. Understood? Thank you very much for calling. Anyway, you did a good job by calling. At least you are the bravest among millions. So let us go back to what we are doing. How many hours have we been to this program? I don't want to. Oh, we've been 2 hours into this program. I don't know if I will be able to, analyze this. I don't know. We are 2 hours into this program. I don't know if I should actually do this or not. And somebody is telling me that we don't have a message. Only Simon we are fighting. We cannot hear our message because you are here to see the saga. There is a word that Tupac, Mad Dog, used. He always say that they don't see the struggle, they only see the problem. So people like you, when you come to a media page, you will not hear the message. The only thing you will hear is the saga. Because you come here. That is the reason why we will continue this media, teaching. So that our people will open their mind and be objective. So that you will know Anyen and Kalalala. Because our people now, their mind is very, very, negative. All these things that I have preached here, all the things I have said here, the only thing you heard is Simon Eba. You did not hear the other ones that I said. Or the only one you heard is Simon Eba. That means you people are insincere. Simon Eba cannot do the job that I am doing in the media space. He is doing nothing. He is only taking money from all of you. He don't know the job. He claims he's a lawyer. He cannot. Rewind the video you are watching, so you will see where we've started and where we have headed. That's what we are doing. That's what I am doing. Blocking every media trial on Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And reminding them that we know how judiciary operates and exposing their evil excess against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. That's the type of work we do. And we also talk about politics. The evil politics that is being played in the world against Africa. That's the work we do. It is job for mind emancipation. Job for mind emancipation. This type of people, when they're asking you, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? So if indeed now I decide to tell you what our plan to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, aren't you going to call me a stupid person? Aren't you going to call me a stupid person? Then if I tell you what we are planning to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, how we are planning it, does that not make me a stupid person? Because now I am leaking my secret, my secret to the enemy. So that they will go and plan against my work. Hi, our people. Hi, our people need help. And we will continue to help you. Simon, I see you there also. You need help as well. I need to decolonize you so that you will stop sabotaging your people. I know you are there in the comment section writing junk. You need help, Simon, so that you will stop sabotaging your people. It is called black on black violence. Letting your fingerprint be found in the scene of a white man crime. Using the approach of this neo-colonialist to impoverish and exploit your people. That's exactly what you are doing. That is exactly what you are doing. If we come to this war against or the fight for Biafra restoration, it has everything to do with Western manipulation on Africa. Because from the amalgamation of 100 years ago, which creation of Nigeria, it has a lot of things to do with our Biafra struggle. If Britain decided now that Biafra should go, Biafra will go overnight. If Britain decide now, it has everything to do with the West. The delay, the struggle, it has everything to do with the West. How many times do you hear your boss, Ekberima in Finland, fighting against the neo-colonialism that is holding him from freedom he claims he is fighting against, or he is fighting for? Because the principalities and power from high places, it is coming from Britain and the USA. So, when you talk about mind emancipation, for Africa to be free, it must be collective freedom. For Nigeria to be free now from the shackle of Britain, it must be collective freedom from everybody in Nigeria. If we want to be free today or tomorrow, when Hausa you need to preach to them. That's why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's message is universal. He preached to Hausa, he preached to Fulani, he preached to Yoruba, he preached to Biafrans. That's the reason. That's what we do. So that you will see a bigger picture. You will see a bigger picture of the reason why you must destroy this, the setup of the neo-colonialism. Because that's where they are using. That's exactly what they are using to actually impoverish you. Because yesterday you were friends with Yoruba. Today they give a Yoruba man a president. They turn against you. Against you. Have you now seen how the politics is played? But you will not understand it. So anybody who is not telling you about foreign politics against Africa or against our people, anybody who is not telling you and they're telling you they are going to give you freedom, that you are going to get a self-referendum, that person is a criminal. He is using this pastor format to format your brains. Every day telling you the same story. None of them has been actualized. Our primary problem is the neo-colonialism. Our primary problem is those who amalgamated Nigeria. Do you know the reason why we had a war in 1967? Because Britain called Gowon and tell him not to agree with Ojuku's resolution in Aburi Accord. So, why do you think we need to exclude Britain when we are actually preaching for our mind emancipation and total liberation of our people? Because they are the ones holding the key that is impoverishing, they will lock, the success of everybody in Nigeria. It is Britain. Britain locked the success of every Nigeria. Everybody who call themselves Nigerian, Britain locked their success and they are having the key. If they decide to open it today, everybody is free. And how is that key going to be opened? The amalgamation has expired. Allow Biafra to go. Then everybody is free. Then somebody is there every time they are shouting, we are going to have civil disobedience by sitting at home. It is a self-referendum, which does not make sense. But you have not engaged those people who are holding you. You have not engaged them. then you will claim you write a letter to United Nations. Writing a letter to United Nations got nothing to do with what you're doing. Because United Nations, you need to actually, bring up a bigger politics, because it is all about politics that favors the West. You need to bring out a better argument, a superior argument, and a superior principles. A principle that is superior to the one they have done. Now, the actual reason why I am bringing Asari Dokubo is that Asari Dokubo is supporting the West. That's what he said here in this video. He is in support of the Western activities in Africa. And he is castigating our fallen heroes like Thomas Sankara, like Jerry Lawrence of Ghana, like others. He mentioned many of our fallen heroes in Africa. He said that these people, they failed. They failed. That's what he said. That is exactly the reason why I have come to actually address him and analyze his, ignorance. And while I am here to, analyze his ignorance, some of you who are here will be learning as well. Asari Dokubo is a Biafran. He has the blood of Biafran in him. The reason why you will not see me every day, if you go to my videos, you will see the head of Asari Dokubo in almost all the videos I've been doing. You will not see the head of Ekberima in Finland because it's irrelevant. You will not see that. But you say we are using the energy to fight Simon. That we are not fighting the enemy. But you will not see the enemy because you are not interested to hear when we are fighting the enemy. Even when we fight the enemy, you will come to the comment section and you will start actually, demonizing us and trying to make us to deviate from fighting the enemy in order to talk about your master. That's what you do. We know the manipulation. And it is not going to get you out of the mess you found yourself in Nigeria. The only thing that is going to get you out of the mess you found yourself in Nigeria, it is being truthful to yourself. It is self-introspection. That is the only thing that is getting you out of that mess. Self-introspection. Because, when I tell you you are wrong, you might think that, no, I am just being prejudiced against you. But when you do self-introspection, sincerity, you will understand where you have gotten it wrong. But as long as Simon continued to use the name of IPOB and Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, people like me don't have time for him anymore. If I had time for him, his video will always be in front of me. But I don't have time for him anymore. I am facing the most depressing things because we have actually, we de-winged him. We pluck all his wings already. So he is like, when you cut a chicken and leave it, it will be jumping up and down. That is when the strength of the chicken comes out. Chicken that doesn't have that strength, once you cut the throat, they have more strength jumping. You cannot even control it if you are not strong enough. So that's what he's doing. So whenever he is now jumping and come to mess their blood, to stain their blood on a white cloth, we will actually push it back. That's what we do. And when you call evil, evil, you will know that you are closer and you are ready for your freedom. We cannot get freedom with emotion. We cannot get freedom with emotion. You can only get freedom with your own, free mind and resoluteness. That's how you get freedom. Resoluteness. Your mind must be free first before you get your total liberation and get your freedom. Because when your mind is clear, you will start thinking like a free man. And you will understand that freedom is important and you need to know which way are you going to go to get this freedom as a free-minded person. But now your mind is clouded with sentiment, emotions, and that's why we start with campaign and awareness, decolonization speech, and activism. That's exactly what we are doing. And until you get ready, we are going nowhere. Biafra, I want to tell you something that will piss you off. But that is the simple, bitter truth. To get Biafra is not what you will wake up one day and somebody shout on the social media, you get Biafra. Because the hand that is holding Biafra is principalities and powers from the high places. To get Biafra, you need to form a serious alliance. You need to lose something in order to gain something. Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told you it is the last miracle. You don't understand it. It is not something somebody will tell you it is a self-referendum. No, and you get Biafra. It is not something somebody will give you 200 days to get Biafra. You get it. No. Be truthful and honest to yourself. It will help you. Biafra is not something that I will tell you we are getting it tomorrow. But Biafra is something that I'm rest assured, I am sure that we are getting. But not that quickly. If we get Biafra today, we will not sustain it. If you are not as free as me, if you are not, emotion free as me, when we are making decisions in this self-determination, we are not ready yet. To be free, to be as free as me, it starts with love for one another. Love for one another. If we cannot learn how to love one another, Biafra will never come. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told you that for you to get Biafra, if you kill Biafrans, Biafra will not come. So it means that it starts with what? Love. Because if you love one another, you will not kill one another. When you plan to go to actually execute a plan, nobody is going to sabotage it. So we need all these things, qualities, before we will engage. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu say he need 100 men who love each other, 100 men who are committed, 100 men who are not actually for the profit that are going to receive, but what they are willing to sacrifice. 100 men, not the people who will come and tell you that they are Biafra government crime minister. It is not 100 men looking for position. It is 100 men willing and committed to serve Biafra people, not to exploit or kill them or impoverish them. So when he talks about 100 men, it is like a proverbs. It does not necessarily mean that he need 100 men, because the reason why he was saying that, he was saying it even during, before the time of Eastern Security Network, the time Fulanis were killing our people. He said we need 100 men we march, because he need men that will be resolute enough to push back the menace of Fulani terrorist attack in our land. Those are committed men. Eastern Security Network, those ones who remain resolute, committed to the struggle, they are the 100 men amongst us. You see, except those who deviated and followed the wind. But the ones who remain resolute, even in the absence of the biggest commander, the highest command, they are the 100 men. Not people who come here to raise fund and put in their pocket and tell your children at home to sit at home And while his child is going to a 5-star school with the blood money of Biafrans. And he introduced different strategy of how to exploit you. No, that is not the 100 men. That is not what we are doing. Autopilot bụ nnụnụ ọvọsa ngozi. Faji ụkwụ na avọsa ngozi anyị. We are planning once they get a glimpse of the next thing we are going to do, they find a way to destroy it. That's what they do. In case if you don't know. So you will be deprived of information because you decide to join forces with saboteurs and the enemy. So you will be deprived of information. Information cannot come to you. The generation of Ifa Ajuna is present in this struggle. Until we learn not to get emotional. We know that all of us hate the things Nigeria does. All of us hate the activities of Nigeria. If it has to be in my hand, I will destroy Nigeria even tonight. But we should not let emotions get we don't allow our emotion to get hold of us, to control the narrative. We don't allow the emotions to control the narrative. We need to hurt Nigeria, yes, because they have hurt us. But can you engage with when you are not sure of whom is the next person you are going to this war with? Will you go to war with somebody you are not certain about? What if they're your enemy? Do you know how the DSS, how they do their recruitment? The DSS, how they do their recruitment is that when they want to recruit you, you go out there. The DSS will come and fetch you with a bus. They fetch you in a bus, they tie your eyes and take you to their camp. To their camp. DSS, they have camp. They will take you to their camp. And those people that they are actually training to recruit, they will have their intelligence, which, that is the only place they have intelligence. They will have their intelligence amongst those people, those trainees. Those trainees, they will have their intelligence acting like they are trainees, so that they will be hearing the sentiment that you people will be making. They will be hearing the sentiment to know who is infiltrator. You will think that all of us all of them are trainees, without you knowing that maybe if you mess up there, you will not come back. They shoot you straight. It's not everybody that went to DSS training that returned. I am telling you the secret of DSS. They tie your face to take you to their camp. So in this regard, that is how you will know that for organization to remain solid, the secret must be protected. You need to know who are you going to war with. You need to scrutinize them to make sure that it is not some people who will, when you go to war, they will turn and they shoot you from behind. They will become a backstabber. Many of our people today are backstabbers. That is the reason why the preaching is very, very important. It is very, very important. You see this preaching? It is very, very important, more than any other thing. Though, if we want to get freedom today, we must get love first. We must be willing to protect one another, not to exploit one another, not to kill one another. Even if you are a Yahoo boy with no conscience, you don't go chop your people. If we build that shield on our mind to say, no, I can never do anything against my own people. Because Bible says, love thy neighbor as you love yourself. Who is your neighbor? You are people. Biafrans are your neighbor. So if you go ahead to steal from them, you are stealing from yourself. That's one thing I need you to understand, appreciate that fact. Until you appreciate that fact, Biafra is not coming. Concern. even if you want, make the whole noise or threaten, do the whole threat you do, it will not bring you Biafra. Let us be realistic with each other. Let us be realistic with each other. So, when you are trying to jump up and down, so many of you now are back in the social media. Do you know why? Because you have been in autopilot. All they do is raise fund, make noise, threaten, say they will do this, Biafra army, government in exile, this and that. Many of you are now coming out slowly. But one time he will make a broadcast to convince you, because he's a pastor, he's a millennium pastor. He's using pastor church member format. Once he preach to you something that will digest, it will, you will start paying attention. What is this DOS doing? These people are not doing anything. Hey, I can trust this guy. That's what he does to you. But be warned, beware. You are delaying our freedom. You are delaying our freedom. It is you, nobody else. You are delaying this freedom. And I am happy that I use this time to actually address you and this issue right now. Asari Dokubo's issue, we are going to make it our mandate that we come online tomorrow evening to address the Asari Dokubo issue. I will no longer, because I want to give that Asari Dokubo's issue, I want to give it like 1 hour straight, just Asari Dokubo issue. Because there are many information I want to extract from here, and there are many things I want to teach him and those of you who does not understand politics. Because if the young people of Africa were paying attention to politics, you will not be deceived by these leaders. Few people, maybe one person, because it is through politics that the West will use one person and from your midst. Once they are in control of that person, call your leader. They are in control of all of you. That is the reason why they're calling on, we want to go and restore democracy. I am going to tell you also tomorrow the weakness of ECOWAS. If I don't make it tomorrow, I make it on Sunday. But tomorrow, yes, tomorrow. The weakness of ECOWAS on the engagement they are planning to engage. They will never engage. They are making noise. They are just noise makers. I am going to tell you the perceived weakness which was actually, leaked. We are going to discuss it tomorrow on what they are saying. But this man in front of your screen, we are going to educate him. He is educated illiterate. We are going to educate him. He saw, and I'm beginning to believe that there is some issues between him and the Tinubu. There are some things going on, and I picked it up. I am going to tell you tomorrow. And he is trying to amend one or two things. He's trying to amend one or two things. But the way to destroy this guy is a very simple way. Whenever he come online, if you go there, tell him exactly whom he is, he will start confessing. He is emotional. He is not a soldier. So use his emotion and get the information and everything out of him. That's the the secret about this guy. So that's why we capitalize on it. We make use of those things, informations. We use it against him. Somebody who is asking me, or you ask me, why haven't we deal with Asari Dokubo when he's doing this, doing that? Why hasn't P2B that he demonized? Why hasn't politicians in Biafra land? Why did they not do anything against him? Is he not insulting them too? Why did they not do it? We are not up against Asari Dokubo. He's not using the name of IPOB to commit crime. But any criminal he send in Biafra land, they will collect. Any criminal he send into Biafra land, they will all collect. That is the game. We are not collecting your money in the name we are protecting Eastern Security Network when they are, but we are in charge of Biafra land. We are protecting Biafra land. How it is happening, it is a mystery. Because Autopilot make sure he diverted all the funds of IPOB. He diverted all the funds of IPOB. So doing so was to cripple IPOB, not to have access, but to, as God may have it, IPOB leadership, they make something out of nothing. So they continue to make sure that our men on the ground stands and our boys in school continuously stands. It is only God. It is the hand of God that is doing it. Even if we find any loopholes around them, we will not complain. When Mazen Nnamdi Kanu comes, if I have a complaint, I complain to him. Because he told us that DOS is the highest command. We dare not question their... We can only suggest. That is it. We can only suggest. So that's the way it is. If you learn how to be disciplined, you will be able to go to war and win. Discipline. That is the reason why when you see army, military, you send them to where, to war, they go. They know people are going to die. It is discipline. Committed to what you took an oath to defend. You are committed to it. That is discipline. If we cannot understand that last order, the military order, the military discipline, we are going nowhere. Your nonchalant behavior is taking you to hell straight, not to freedom. And we want freedom, and that's what we are pursuing. I will teach you geopolitical politics tomorrow and how you navigate geopolitical quagmire. And I will educate Asari Dokubo so that he knows, because he know nothing. He's just like Benima in Finland. They are the same people. They are just people who find themselves within, around politicians, and they are, just they don't even know what politics is all about. They don't know nothing. Not even a history, they don't know. They know nothing. But I will educate all of you tomorrow so that you will know how prepared we are before we engage. Until we meet again, thank you for watching. Click the like button. Click the like button. And if you are watching on YouTube, click the like button. If you are watching on Facebook, click the like button. Share the video. On Twitter, retweet the video. Until we meet again, stay safe, stay informed. We're going to meet tomorrow between 6, 7, 8 Biafra time. Depends on the time we're going to be available. And we are also going to touch on this, religious stuff tomorrow. There are many things that I need to show you on religion tomorrow. So, bye-bye for now. You support what we do by sharing the video and liking the video.